keep it quilted means...
The Nun 2.
Good evening. I was feeling rather sophisticated, so I threw on a pair of these spectacles. They're not like a prescription or anything, unless that prescription is an ass beating on blue light. Because these are just some blue light blocking glasses, I think. The main purpose is they're supposed to help you sleep better, and I've been having a hard time going night-night recently, so I'm giving them a whirl to see if they help at all. This isn't like a hashtag ad or anything, it's just I know most of you haven't seen me in glasses, so I wanted to explain the jump scare here, because I've learned it's always an alarming situation when I don't look exactly the same like a goddamn cartoon character. So anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to make fun of some losers, some turbo douchebags that just recently embarrassed themselves. I'm sure a lot of you have already seen the clip. I don't know if I can show the clip, so I'm just going to show an image from it and explain what happened. Yesterday was Gamescom, which is a huge gaming showcase where a lot of trailers and a lot of information come out about games that are coming up. And it's something a lot of people tune into. It's hosted by Jeff Keighley, and pretty much right off rip for the presentation, a rowdy little rascal in the audience went up on stage with his goofy, glue-sniffing sidekick and did a little unholy fusion dance of cringe, just interrupting the whole thing for this.
Don't be jealous. I'm not allowed to say anything about...
And I feel like I'm getting enough sense as a result of that. And this absolute goofball thought he could get the same thing happen to him. So he went up on stage, tried the same thing basically, and got zero clout, and nobody laughed. It was just met with sighs and boos. Oh brother, this guy stinks. And he wasn't alone. Most people don't even realize that there was a friend of his that went up there with him. So if you freeze frame right here, and I feel like I'm getting in a fucking like some kind of film Easter egg here where I have to break it down in order for you to see the hidden messages. There is another guy on stage who is not supposed to be there. He's the guy doing this pose. Like, you know, are you not entertained? And the answer was a resounding no. Nobody was. This is lame as fuck. He had the gall.
Choose your battle style. Play as your favorite One Piece characters and lead your team to victory. One Piece Bounty Rush. Gear 5th Luffy is finally here.
This is not a water bottle. It's an air-up bottle that flavors ordinary water through scent using flavor pots. This is Joanne, getting her daily dose of hydration without sugar or additives. And this is Bob, unnecessarily throwing his coins away in the vending machine. You're lost, Bob. Air Up. It's not a water bottle. Discover now.
I've never seen this movie.
Is it Fellowship of the Ring?
Fellowship of the Ring.
Okay. This movie's so good. Wow.
Wow. So good already.
Oh.
When did this movie come out?
I want to say like 2003.
You sure? Isn't it like in 1990s or something?
Nah, it's like 2001, 2003.
Oh, 2001 maybe.
Maybe, but I know one of them came out in 2003. Maybe that's when
Like the second
last one came out. I'm not sure, but it's in the first like 3-4 years of the, you know, 21st century.
Sheesh.
That music's that.
Ooh, that's hard. That's
I love
hard.
that.
It began with the forging of the great rings. 3 were given to the elves, immortal, wisest and fairest of all beings.
Okay.
7 to the dwarf lords,
Damn.
Oh, there's
Dwarfs
a lot
had
of
7,
rings.
dude?
craftsmen of the mountain halls, and 9 rings.
Wow, there's
were
a lot of
gifted
rings.
to the race of men, who above all else desire power.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what men
For
want.
within these rings was bound the strength and will to govern each race. In the land of Mordor, in the fires of Mount Doom, the Dark Lord Sauron forged in secret a master ring to control all others.
Oh, what?
With this ring, he poured his cruelty, his malice, and his will to dominate all life.
So that's like the Ring of Rings.
Yeah.
The lands of Middle Earth fell to the power of the ring. But there were some who resisted.
You're damn
A
right.
vast alliance of men and elves marched against the armies of Mordor, and on the slopes of Mount Doom, they fought for the freedom of Middle Earth.
Oh, what
The
is that?
orcs. The orcs.
Oh, they're at war right now. This reminds me of like Narnia.
Narnia.
Wait, isn't that Red Skull?
Who?
The actor who played Red Skull in Captain America?
Oh yeah, yeah, that's him.
Oh, wow.
I think his name is Hugo Weaving. I want to say.
Victory was near, but the power of the ring could
Oh,
not
no.
be undone.
And he's so tall.
I don't know what he is.
Is he like a giant or something?
That Isildur, son of the king, took up his father's sword.
Oh, he cut
What?
off his fingers? What the hell?
Wait, that's it? There's no way he's gone.
So is he just like an entity that just, like an energy that just takes up a suit of armor?
Sauron, the enemy of the free peoples of Middle-earth, was defeated.
He just had to cut his fingers?
Okay, wow.
That's how you get him?
The ring passed to Isildur, who had this one chance to destroy evil forever. But the hearts of men are easily corrupted. And the Ring of Power has a will of its own.
Oh, what? He's invisible?
Yeah.
Oh.
It
Not good.
betrayed Isildur to his death.
Well, Rip Isildur.
Wow.
And some things that should not have been forgotten were lost. When chance came, it
Yes.
ensnared a new bear.
Oh. What?
You know, you gotta know this one.
Yeah, I think.
The
Yeah.
ring came to the creature Gollum,
Gollum.
who took it deep into the tunnels of the misty mountains. And there, it consumed him.
So weird.
The ring
looking.
brought to Gollum unnatural long life. For 500 years, it poisoned his
Jeez.
mind.
500 years?
And in the gloom of Gollum's cave, it waited.
Wait, so he makes you like immortal, pretty much?
Yeah, but it corrupts you because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
evil.
It abandoned Gollum.
Uh-oh.
But something happened then the ring did not intend. It was picked up by the most unlikely creature imaginable.
What's this?
A hobbit. Bilbo Baggins of the Shire.
Hobbit.
Yeah, you hear that in the background. I'm out.
Yeah, no. So they said they have like man, dwarves. What was the other race?
Dwarves, elves, man.
Oh, elves.
There's orcs, hobbits.
A Hobbit's Tale by Bilbo Baggins.
So it's pretty. They're writing in English, but it just has a lot of dots in all the letters.
You think what? They're taking English as their own and just putting like dots on it to make it different.
Yeah, you didn't see it.
Hobbits living and farming in the forefathings of the Shire for many hundreds of years. In fact, it has been remarked by some that Hobbits' only real passion is for food.
Damn, I should go over there.
As we have
I'll fit right in.
Yeah, I think we'll both fit right with, pretty good.
and the smoking of pipeweed,
Nice, dude.
what's truly life, is in peace, quiet. For all Hobbits share a love for things that grow. It is no bad thing to celebrate a simple life.
Oh, it's his birthday. I wonder how old he is, cause he got the ring.
Oh yeah.
Sticklebacks, where is that boy?
Sticklebacks.
Frodo.
Yeah, look at him.
I know that name.
Look, he's got the dogs out. Look how big they are.
The feet. I got the dogs out.
Who let the dogs out? Ruff, 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 ruff.
Oh, look at him.
Oh,
I know.
okay,
who
yeah, this is the part I remember.
I
So I
know.
remember he like rode into town or something.
I know him.
You know him?
The character.
You're late.
Yeah, that's his name.
A wizard is never late, Frodo Baggins.
Gandalf.
Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
I was like, I know who that is, but I couldn't remember the name, so I was like, frozen for a second.
Wonderful to see you, Gandalf.
Yeah.
Oh.
You didn't think I'd miss your Uncle Bilbo's birthday?
I wonder how old he was. Whatchamacallit? Eli. What's his name? Elijah Woods?
Wow. It looks so nice and peaceful.
This is all real. They actually made this whole.
Yeah, I
place.
think I heard it was made in New
Zealand.
Zealand or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Like those are actually still there, like all the Hobbit homes and stuff. You can actually, like some people, I think they bought them and shit. Like
Oh, wow.
some people own them. Like they actually live in them. I think. I'm not sure.
Tell you the truth, Bilbo's been a bit odd lately. I mean, more than usual. He's taken to locking himself in his study. He spends hours and hours poring over old maps when he thinks I'm not looking.
Yeah, look at the size of the dogs on him, bro. See them things?
Yeah.
They're like duck flippers or like duck feet, dude. Like.
Looking for the ring.
It's gotta
He's
be.
obsessed. And he's so short.
Well, yeah, he's a hobbit.
All right, then, keep your secrets.
Oh, the meme. You ever seen that? All right, then, keep your secrets.
Wow, that looks so beautiful. You're saying that's real?
Bro.
Wow.
I mean, that part might be CGI because that looks way too green.
But like, you can color correct it to make it look more green than
That's true.
it actually is.
Bro, just put me in like a meadow somewhere in a big green field with a bunch of hills and play that music, dude.
Oh yeah,
I'd be
I'll
there
there forever.
Oh my god, dude.
Gandalf?
Bilbo Baggins.
Dear Gandalf!
Good to see you. 111 years old.
I told you, he looks like 60.
Well, remember he's got the ring, so.
Yeah.
I wonder if I'm guessing he doesn't know that he has the ring.
I'm not at home. They're after the house. They've never forgiven me for living this long. I've got to get away from these confounded relatives hanging on the bell all day, never giving me a moment's peace. I'm old, Gandalf. I know I don't look it, but I'm beginning to feel it in my heart.
Yeah.
I feel pinned, sort of stretched, like
Yeah, it's not natural.
I need a holiday. A very long holiday. And I don't expect I shall return. This will be a night to remember.
Oh my god, that scared me.
You got scared by the fireworks? God damn,
that
look at
cake.
Go on, Sam. Ask Rosie for a dance.
Some.
I think I'll just have another ale. No, you don't.
How old are they?
Go on.
I'm guessing they live around human lives, right? Like, he was 111. Jeez.
Oh wow. We're at Disney right now.
Oh no, the big one, big one. Are all these children yours? Good gracious, you have been productive.
You'll be productive.
You're a good lad, Frodo. I'm very selfish, you know. I don't know why I took you in after your mother and father died, but it was...
I was literally writing parents. Question mark.
Done.
Supposed to stick it in the ground.
It is in the ground.
Outside.
That's what
You're
you're
doing
doing.
yeah.
This is not good. Oh my gosh, it took the whole tent. Oh, a dragon? Oh my gosh, that's sick.
What's up?
My dear Bagginses and Buffins, Toots and Brandy Butters, Clubs, Jumps, Cornflowers, Bulgers.
They just had to
Oh,
make
there's a
them
lot
the
of-
dumbest names that they could think of.
There's a lot of families.
The
Proudfoot.
Ew.
I don't know half of you half as well as I should like.
We should never have let AI out of the box.
Rated PG-13.
My favorite merc. Welcome to Dogtown. There's a job. Coordinates provided. You know what to do.
Get your ammo, assault rifles, tactical gear.
And thinking of buying some iron.
The logical choice.
Damn. Green view. Home stretch. Getting a ripper to overclock your chrome before the fight? Not a bad idea. Okay, I'm ready. Get this show on the road.
Two. Three, two, one.
Welcome to
3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Immersive Reactions.
And welcome back to Immersive Reactions. Today we're doing a deep dive in what are the differences between the Shawshank Redemption 1994 film versus the Stephen King novel of the same name. That being said, I am very interested in what the differences are between the books and the source material. I would say that's my biggest thing with fiction works is how they differ from the source material, or how the source material
narrator of all time story to fill out its near 2.5-hour runtime.
Easy peasy, Japanese.
Brooks, for example, is the longtime inmate who runs the library in both the book and the movie. But Book Brooks is introduced, paroled, and leaves Shawshank crying in the space of a few pages. The bird Jake is not Brooks's in the book, but instead belonged to an inmate with a relatively short 8-year stay in the prison. The most significant thing about him is that Jake the bird shows up starved to death shortly after his release, a metaphor for the learned helplessness of Shawshank's residents.
The threat of Brooks' institutionalization in the movie is much more direct, however. Movie Brooks has been at Shawshank longer than anybody, like his novella counterpart, but the movie dives much deeper into Brooks' experience as a heartbreaking example of what prison has taken from these men. The sequence of Brooks on the outside, narrated by Brooks' letter to the guy still in Shawshank, is entirely created for the film. It's also yet another shift away from the exclusively read voice of the novella.
That's the basic theme of this adaptation. Take characters from the book and expand upon them to flesh out the movie. Aside from the enormous additions to Brooks's presence in the story, the movie expands on Captain of the Guards Byron Hadley and Warden Norton. While their characters are the same in both mediums, the movie upgrades them both to essentially co-antagonists.
Hadley and Norton are bad dudes in the book, for sure, but in the movie they're ever present and even worse. The second time we meet Hadley on screen, he beats a man to death, which doesn't explicitly happen in the book at all.
If I hear so much as a mouse fart in here the rest of the night, I swear by God and Sonny Jesus, you will all visit the infirmary.
And when a young inmate, Tommy Williams, shows up with a story that could get Andy's name cleared,
which happens in the book as well.
But in the book, Norton just transfers Tommy to a different prison and sends Andy to solitary for 2 weeks. In the movie, Norton and Hadley straight up murder Tommy and lock Andy away for 2 whole months.
Of course, in both book and movie, Norton wants Tommy's story to go away so that Andy can continue cooking the books for all the shady dealings.
I understand both. 100% I understand both. For a shortened run time, they said this book was only 100 pages, so it wouldn't take long to read. But for someone who's watching this for 2 hours, from beginning to end, towards the climax, you're looking for something to go over the top. To really show that these guys are like an imminent threat for Andy, to flip the script on him. That is the turning point for Andy, when the guy gets killed and he gets thrown in for a month in solitary. That is the turning point where he decides, okay, it's time for me to go and do this now. Which, that happens in the book to a lesser extent, but I understand both. It works in both circumstances.
And side hustles the wardens got going, but the money laundering operation pays off in very different ways. In the book, after Andy's escape, he doesn't share the evidence of corruption in Shawshank, and the warden just retires a broken man. And again, owing to the exclusively Red's voice structure of the novel, we don't find out what happened to Norton simply because Red never did.
In the movie, though, Andy really sticks it to Norton and Hadley, making his escape with all the evidence needed to arrest Hadley and convince Norton to kill himself instead of facing the music.
That's crazy, because that seems to me like such a more...
I would like to say the book part, to be honest.
That seems way more, like the movie version seems way more Stephen King than the book version. But I guess you also have that Stephen King where things sort of crazy stuff that's happening just sort of fizzles out sometimes. Where you're expecting something big, but something big doesn't happen. He leads you down paths, like where you're like, this could happen, and then he sneaks in another path that you never thought of.
Andy also makes off with almost $400,000 of Norton's ill-gotten dollars by assuming the identity of Randall Stevens, the man Andy invented to help with money laundering.
Book Andy, however, didn't leave with any of Norton's money. In fact, after Andy was arrested for his wife's murder, but before he was sent to Shawshank, he and a banker friend set out to move all of Andy's assets under the fake name Peter Stevens. While Andy was in prison, his banker friend managed the affairs of Peter Stevens, making investments and stockpiling a tidy nest egg just sitting in a safe deposit box, the key to which is buried under a piece of volcanic rock under an oak tree in a hayfield on the north side of Buxton.
All that to say, expanding on Hadley and Norton not only filled out the story to feature length, it also expanded on a central theme of Stephen King's original novella. The idea that there's a part of every person that can't be put behind bars, that will always be free so long as one can hope. The novella puts forth this theme through Andy's painstaking, nearly 3 decades-long escape plan. The movie, however, adds the direct fight against the system personified by Hadley and Norton, and Andy's very real and damaging victory over the pair of them.
And this perhaps puts a finger on the spirit of adaptations in general. While a book is able to ponder ideas for pages at a time, the visual medium of film has a different way of going about it. Because movies in general benefit from a bad guy that needs defeating, The Shawshank Redemption pulled 2 antagonists up from a pool of several to focus on.
They send you here for life. That's exactly what they take.
The good guys in the story get the same treatment. The threat of Red's parole hearings is an invention for the movie. While the book briefly ponders the idea of rehabilitation, Red is given a series of scenes in the movie that illustrate his changing views on the subject through performance more than text. In short, this is a film adaptation that doesn't just fill time, but takes advantage of the different medium to flesh out the themes of the novella. That's all for this episode of What's the Difference? We're heading back to the...
I'm curious to see what Stephen King thought of that.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm gonna look that up very quickly. What? Okay. So Stephen King said he loved the movie, which is, it's good to see that. Like, a lot of like author to movie adaptions, like, often the movie gets the source material wrong, or they do it in a wrong way, like a bad way. And one second, I forgot to do this the other day. Sharpen. Okay. And a lot of things that I've seen that are adapted from books, like another example is the Dark Tower movie, because I love the Dark Tower book from Stephen King, is very bad.
Oh.
Yeah. It's just, it tries to pack way too much information because it is the opposite scenario of this, where the Dark Tower series is many books over a long period of time, and the Shawshank Redemption, they said, was 100 pages. So they had to invent stuff, but with longer text, sometimes they don't get enough of the source material in there to begin with. And then they start messing with stuff anyway, and it makes everything just muddled, and you lose the message completely. And that happens with directors who don't care about the source material. That happens with directors who are using something to create a completely different thing from the book, which is bad. But when they do it like this, when they expand upon the characters, you read that passage in the book, it was a couple pages about Brooks, and it was just a retrospective of a letter that he wrote, and he comes and he leaves. But that's an interesting story that we can expand upon. It fits way better, and it makes clear goals for the audience. With Norton, they wanted to make him the villain. He was a villain because he's the warden, so he's like trying to maintain control over the prison, and he has like backdoor schemes and stuff, but he wasn't like a murderer like he is in the movie. So it creates a clear and present danger to an audience watching. Sometimes you gotta fluff some of that stuff up to make the concepts work a little better, work a little faster. As for a book, you don't need to.
I think Andy went in and then the more and more experience he's had, the more things he had seen while being a person, he started to become a criminal.
Yeah.
With the manipulation and the schemes and this and that, but he also was teaching and redeeming the prison, and then making his own ways, and then helping his friends and this and that.
Yeah.
So. And
they sort of flipped that from the book, because in the book they said that he and a friend had set up a false person to continue investing before he got into jail, which kind of, in the movie, he was like, I was clean on the outside. I had to come to prison to be a criminal.
Yeah.
Which I feel like makes Andy more relatable.
I am glad that Stephen King loved the movie.
It's a great,
That's good.
It's a great, fresh take on what he wrote. Probably he probably watched it and was probably like, "Damn, why didn't I think of that?" But his stands on its own. Yes. He wrote it. It's just someone felt so inspired by it to expand upon it in a tasteful way that made it feel like it was coming from him.
That's a huge, like...
Because even me, when I thought of the warden killing himself and, like, killing the dude, I was like, that feels to me like it's 100% Stephen King. But it wasn't. It's interesting. I'm definitely going to do more of, like, book to movie retrospectives, because that was great. That was the funnest I've ever had doing a deep dive.
I enjoyed this one.
Yeah. It's for you probably haven't seen a lot of Stephen King.
Nope.
or read any of the books, they're not really meant for. He's a very different type of writer. It's a good thing, but normally people aren't like attracted to that type of stuff. I think it's wonderful, but anyway,
I enjoyed the deep dive. This is one of the, I have to agree, it was a really great deep dive.
Yep. Anyway, we will do more of these in the future for more of movies. And thank you for watching Immersive Reactions.
Until next time.